thank you to everyone, not just for turning up today, but for the lifelong support I have had from a quality friends and family base. There is no way I could possibly repay the debt I owe, and I would like to thank my wonderful wife for meeting me at the altar. And also putting up with me for the last 6 years.
Beginning, love, it's beginning.
She was always there for me, and she was always there for our 2 beautiful children. I know I'd be lost without Kayleigh. And I know my love for her knows no limits. And I look forward to growing old together in adventures we will live through in between. It's amazing today, because no surprise to me. My heart is eternally yours, and thank you for just being you. I'm now going to hand over to my best man. Thank you, it's for everybody. Everybody here really is so happy.
I'll come out and start again now.
Right, everybody, thank you very much for being here today.
Right, folks, just to introduce myself, I'm Kayleigh's father. Thanks, Bully. Firstly, I would like to offer my deepest thanks to Andy, Jackie, for doing a brilliant job, and everybody else who mucked in. We got mucked up last night in all the weather and everything, and for organising today's special event. Not forgetting Father Dyke for doing a brilliant service today for my daughter and Karl. Much appreciated. It's been a privilege today to walk my beautiful daughter down the aisle. Brilliant. To give her away to the man I know she wants with all her heart. Kayleigh has become a very thoughtful, caring and understanding young woman. Got 2 gorgeous gems, namely Alec and Amelia. When she does take up a midwifery course again, at least this midwife will have some experience. Over the years, me and Kayleigh have had some laughs and bringing some more just because we have a similar kind of sense of humour. And I would just like to share a special one which even now, some 10 years or so on, still makes me laugh. It's a little present for you, sweetheart. You'll know what it is when you open it. I'll share it with you in a second. The story behind this is we once went on a little jaunt round B&Q, me and her mum, and she disappeared, and the next thing I heard was a shout from the bottom of the aisle, "Dad! Hey!" So we turn around and she's there in overalls and a hat, dancing to Bob the Builder, and then security came chasing around. She departed rather swiftly, I must say. I mean, how she managed to get out of the overalls and the hat, I have no idea what she did. And it still makes me chuckle with that one. Also, we have the same taste in music in most cases, and besides Kayleigh nicking half my CD collection of time, I claim it back. You know, I had to wait her lifetime to see the Stone Roses, but last week she managed to do it in a very quick time. But we managed it, we had a good time. And now, even though my little princess is now married, I don't think that this daddy's girl will ever go away. Oh. She doesn't know how to butter me up, I must admit. Personally, I think that both Kayleigh and Karl have made a great choice in marrying each other and are very well suited. Karl, I'm changing my mobile and you're not giving me. Finally, I would like to wish the happy couple all the success and happiness in life. And ask all of you to raise your glasses or bottles, seeing as though it's a festival. Totally happy couple.
Cheers!
Cheers, you two. Cheers.
Best man, come on.
Best man.
Can you stand right to the end? Now Bolden Church is right now.
Hold it together. Hold it up.
Can you just wait while we are talking? Alright. Shut up, Margaret. Finished.
Hold on a minute, there you go, son.
Right,
Crack on.
Always one of them.
Come forward then, lads. Come right forward between the things.
Boys, can you stand there by that planting?
Oh, come on now.
Yeah, come on.
Because we can't see that.
I've done
Can
my
I
bit.
say another massive thank you
You seen it,
to all my
Kayleigh?
bridesmaids, especially my chief bridesmaid.
Oh.
She's helped me out loads, and she's supported everything for this wedding, like even down to pants and sweets for the kids in the church and McDonald's breakfast, and she's just been an absolute star.
Didn't give me directions to eat, did you?
Didn't get my
shirt right.
She ordered your trousers?
You know you were there. You helped me get in.
She won.
We nearly swapped trousers this morning.
I just got the Vaseline off my hands.
So much information,
Who's chipped in? Stand here on the end of this tree and shout down there.
Oh, yeah.
We want to see your trousers, Ben.
Most of you can't see me behind this pole.
Hello and welcome to the Best Man Speech. May I take this time to welcome you all to Karl and Kayleigh's festival themed wedding event. And in true festival theme, the weather is typical. They say the sun shines on the righteous, so I suppose we have all you lot to blame for this weather.
First, let's all thank the hard work that's been put in by everyone else, apart from Karl and Kayleigh. It's a big day, because if it was left to them, we'd probably be stuck in the middle of a field, nowhere, in the rain, making the best of it. What we have is a laid-back Kayleigh with all heart and no direction, and then Karl with all direction and no heart. That's just the opinion of the parents. However, as we all know, Karl and Kayleigh, with a little help from the friends and family, have created a little oasis here where we can all kick back, relax, and forget our inhibitions to have, a good time. So if we all raise the glasses at the start now to Karl and Kayleigh. That's you, Richard. Go.
Now let's begin with Karl. You're having him, aren't you? I met Karl back in primary school when he used to bully me. He used to nick me dinner money. Karl soon realised that I was growing taller than him, and he soon what's that say?
That's good then, now. I wrote the speech, whatever.
He soon reconsidered his position. as a bully and became best mates with me. Wise move.
I met Carl where Carl initially never admitted to being Anna's cousin because he didn't think she was cool enough.
Oh, man.
Annie, that is not true.
Just for Anna's benefit, I'll repeat that. Just for your benefit, I'll repeat. I met Carl back in high school, where Carl initially never admitted to being Anna's cousin because he didn't think she was cool enough.
Yeah, that's what it was.
As soon as a few of the lads were finding Anna desirable, he became Anna's guardian angel and telling me that I had no chance with her. Well, Carl, what do you know? I did marry her.
That's me now, yeah? I met Carl. me and Vince haven't got the typing skills. And obviously Anna has. Which was left to him to sort of. So, I met Carl in a place where parents send the children when they don't love them anymore. Scouts. True. Where we both shared the limelight. Carl probably more so than me. I'm always the one in the background. Not my thing, you know. Don't like the spotlight.
Agree, John.
That's true, right? We got the chance to go on the World Jamboree and represent England. One of 10 people. Sure, I was working. 2 of 10. Where I suffered from dehydration. We went to Chile. That's where I suffered from dehydration from drinking too much Coca-Cola instead of water in the intense heat. Carl was first on the scene. And he ran back to the campsite and then straight back to my side, which he did. And you know, that's why I mentioned the story, because it's always stuck with me. We didn't bring water or an adult or a first aid kit. Brought a camera. Holiday snaps for you, and not so much for me. I think we're painting a picture for you.
You've got it down to.
Carl's always been an outgoing lad. From an early age, dabbling in the vices of life, and drinking Lambrini in the alleyways of Maybank and Wolstanton.
And you, Annie.
To smoking by the brook or anywhere out to sight. Because Carl always had the watchful eyes of his parents, Jackie and Andrew, on him. He'd always take great precautions and escapades.
It's slipped up twice.
It's weird when like that.
That's what I said to him.
You're doing well, mate. You get a gold star if you finish this paragraph.
Get a free glass of wine. So he'd always take certain precautions, like walking down the street, rubbing his fingers along the bushes so his fingers didn't smell smoke. You knew them all.
I don't know, but I always do.
Or telling him, it's hard to feed you anyway.
So telling his mum, if you think I'm bad, you should see the state of the other lads.
That was always what he said. You should see Rich.
And that's what
Or Jimmy
He's
Carr.
always Richard that brought it for us. He's been a beer since he was about 15.
So Carl, you should be really thankful to them for their interventions, or you may have ended up on a park bench in a mess with a can of special brew in hand. Only weekends now though, eh?
Yeah, we've seen it like that.
Carl wasn't all bad though, he was just easily led astray. Like the time he let me and Richard shave his head with a bit razor while drunk. We inevitably bodged the job and left Carl bludgeoned and bloody. The best idea at the time was to pour vodka over Carl's head to stop the bleeding. Carl fully complied with all the proceedings and woke up in the morning looking like he'd been in a fight.
Speaking of fights, one time Carl thoughtfully lent me a bright yellow jacket and a pair of popper trousers, Adidas popper trousers. which I gratefully accepted because at the time I could still fit into his clothes. I'm not far off, but... unknown to me, Karl had previously been in an altercation with some other lads in Maybank the week before. So, on a trip to the shops, dressed from head to toe as Karl, I was surprised when I came upon the 4 lads, bigger boys, I might add, who stopped me. They were bigger boys. Not now, they're not. Yeah, all things change now. Who stopped me and beat me up. But Karl excelled himself then, again, as a friend, like I've mentioned before. And I've never, ever seen anybody run that fast in my life. But in his defence, he did shout very loudly from the end of the street for them to stop. Thanks for that again, Karl.
Did he have a camera then, Ben?
No, he didn't.
That's why I was running, you saying get one.
Andy said, that's when Andy come down with mum's and said, "Are we going to beat him up? Are we going to beat him up?" They were bigger than Andy as well. I know, that's why we don't know, see your dad first. My dad said, "You look alright to me."
Are you listening, Hans? Yeah, he is.
During Karl's school days, he stuck up keen friendships with many of you here today. Nearly 13 years later, it is testament to Karl's endearing qualities as a friend that we're all here for him today. I'm sure you all have different memories of Karl at school, but the first introduction to Karl for me was not from another pupil or classmate, but the head of the RE department, remember Karl? Mr. Osborne. Thrusting Karl and Richard into our class by the scruff of their necks and standing them in front of our class and informing us that this is an idiot and this is an idiot's mate. And if we wanted to succeed at school, we should steer well clear of these two. Despite the warning, we all formed lasting friendships, and you all know who to blame if you didn't get the jobs you wanted after school. After Karl's school days, he invested his interests in the College of Knowledge at the 6th form at Fenton. Here he studied meticulously the batch of freedoms enjoyed by school leavers. Sorry, Jack. Don't let me interrupt you, eh?
I don't think it's your message on school, but now you're in. You're on fire!
May I continue? Study periods, also known as pub periods. These new freedoms conveniently came about at the same time as Karl's dad, Andy, took over Holy Trinity Catholic Club.
You should warn them about this now.
We know.
Also known as Young Idiots Alcohol Club. We have taken upon ourselves today to repent and ask for forgiveness for our sins committed back then. So here goes our confession. We regularly stopped over at the flat above the Catholic Club, and during this time devised a cunning scheme. We had a replica master key cut to the club's bar. And after studying alarm codes and protocols,
Karl, come from behind that fence. That's your radio.
we managed to get our way into the 17-year-old sweet shop that was free draft beer and Arctic spirits.
Is the priest still here?
Yeah.
Because we should probably thank you for paying for that. Straight to hell.
Which we enjoyed access to for a good few weeks. We worked our way through a large and varied selection of alcohol while playing cards and food. Good times. We knew that we had to leave the scene of the crime perfect each time, before we arrived, minus the consumed alcohol. We thought we had committed the perfect crime each time. But as mentioned previously, Karl's parents were very astute. Andrew had his suspicions because of the low beer levels and set a trap. He found the pool balls one morning were in the incorrect order from the order he had set them in the previous night. We were were then rumbled. When confronted, we had to admit everything and reimburse the monies lost. Valuable lesson learned. Don't get caught.
At this time, Karl was also a proud owner of a Vespa and thought himself a bit of a mod. But despite only having a CVT licence, we all used to meet up with spare helmets in hand and ride off to up till Miss Marple caught us up. from the paint. When we moved, remember that? That's not industry chat, this is, I'm just going into low now. When we used to move the hatch off the lot,
Yeah.
and
When
you come
I
home and
sat on
go,
the toilet,
where's the
I
paint?
looked and saw a chip of paint.
What,
So I
like
looked
a
up,
chip of paint?
and I went, who's been up the loft?
Yeah. And I got an helmet on going, Many adventures were had involving close scrapes with tractors on country lanes, pedestrian collisions while carrying crates of beer on board, a lorry dragging us underneath. When Karl misheard directions and took a wrong turn onto the M6, obviously with a 125cc scooter you're not allowed on the M6 for a good reason.
When we all finally came of age, I could use our real IDs instead of fake NUS cards to get into the pubs and clubs. We had many enjoyable nights out, especially on our regular trips down to Blackpool. Memories included running round naked in our hotel, letting off fire extinguishers, and romancing. It wasn't me.
Wig on, it was with a wig on.
Mr. Naked.
And romancing the classy Blackpool lassies dressed in short skirts with Rockport boots.
You know you remember her. You know you remember her. Whoever it was. And I said, the best of it is right, I said to Adam, let's now think about putting this story in, like, because remember that time when we were in Blackpool? Hey, can't put that in. Can't mention that kind of stuff, can you, to wedding? And then you put it in. Scumbag.
And a certain someone, not content with urinating in the streets with us, but feeling the need to attempt to lay a gorilla's finger. These are things you have to endure being a friend of Karl's.
Karl. Come from behind the post, mate.
That is tasteful. That is tasteful.
We're all like complete fabrication.
That is tasteful. 5 and 6 are what Rich sent in. Oh yeah,
I've grown up a lot.
yeah,
Now you're doing it 10 chance.
Karl then decided he was going to embark in a career serving his country in the Stafford's Regiment, receiving the best army training in the world. Karl was, as with most things, he excelled in his training, regularly beating his peers and superior officers in fitness and in stamina, even after a heavy night out. The army gave Karl discipline, direction and personal skills that he has taken with him, like meticulously cleaning, like the house, the car, the shoes, etc, etc. He has attempted many times to drill this mentally into Kayleigh, but to no avail as yet. And regarding the punk Karl, I have a feeling that it won't be the last thing you fail to drill into Kayleigh if you keep on at it. Also enjoyed the freedoms once off duty, and along with his best pal Cartwright became connoisseurs of
Cartwright.
Don't mention me.
in the cities and towns they visited. Very different from nowadays though, eh Karl? When Karl's favourite thing to do at the moment is fall asleep on a night out.
You were more in it until we realised your missus was here.
Carry on, I've got nothing to hide.
After the army, Karl got a flat in Bradwell where the fun continued. Mate, it took us ages to find something we could keep in this. I moved in with Carl.
Good move, man.
Seamless. I moved in with Carl after a row with an ex-girlfriend, and Carl accepted rent in the form of beer and takeaway food, which we all enjoyed. I don't think did us any harm. But after we turned
You drunk all the beer, lad.
what?
You had more than Carl.
Carl fell asleep.
But after returning home one night after a bad day and in a bad mood, he kicked me out in my pants for blocking up the plug hole in the bathroom
When you had your
with my
first
hair that was quite obviously falling from my head. Nice. No, that's it. Oh, no, it's not. Sorry, come again. Along with the crazy nights out on the town we shared, we then discovered the festival scene. Some of the most memorable and best times of our lives have been had at the Isle of Wight and V Festival. Let's just say many fun experiences were had. It's at the V Festival in 2007 when Carl came across a certain young Yorkshire lass called Kayleigh. Despite Kayleigh initially fancying one of the other lads, you probably work it out by who wrote it. Is that you that put that in?
No.
Someone else.
Yeah, it was.
He wants everything.
Chocolate's so
But despite
rude.
all of that, Carl managed to work his magic, and at the end of the festival, Kayleigh was moving to Stoke to be with Carl.
For the camper van.
Now, I've never been to Pontefract, but for how quickly Kayleigh moved to Stoke, but anyway, we've been separate ever since. We're not sure whether that's through Kayleigh's choice or Carl's choice.
No, I tried to go. He locks the doors.
You get to
Carl and Kayleigh were soon blessed / condemned with children. There is a fine line, as I'm sure those of you with kids will agree. Alec James was then followed by Amelia Rose Sutton, which I'm sure are both proud today of their mummy and daddy. So where is he?
Yeah, they played on the
Sweet. Carl works hard and provides for his family, enjoying family life and shared with his love with friends and family. He's found stability in Kayleigh, who's made him a proud father, and she works tirelessly to ensure Alec and Amelia have everything they need and want, and also make sure that her Facebook page is fully updated. Kayleigh will make a wonderful wife, as she has all the right attributes and skills to make a man happy. If you know what I mean.
It's always makes me blush.
And that reminds me, Kayleigh, I started. What's that?
I'm falling in love with me.
No. You wish.
That reminds me, Kayleigh, I shan't be needing this anymore, as you're married. It's your back door key. If there's anyone else there today that would like to give Carl a fighting chance in a happy marriage,
Yeah, they are. Anybody else got the keys? Okay, that's all right.
Sorry, Kale, left mine in the car.
No wonder you never answer the phone.
Dear me.
might be a back door.
Oh, Jake's got two.
Stag do in Amsterdam was awesome. Karl strangely enjoyed being dressed as a lady. Things haven't changed here. But strangely didn't like his Mancunian gimp mask. If there's a few of you who haven't seen the footage of Karl's outfit, be sure to see one of us afterwards, or alternatively look it up on Facebook or YouTube. Extra special thank you to Kayleigh's parents, family and friends who have travelled down here today. Also, Jackie and Andrew for organising the event and putting in a good shift, making the field what it is today. And if anyone's hungover tomorrow and short of a breakfast, 48 Marina Drive, you'll be warmly welcome.
I didn't begin the lakeside for breakfast.
They do the best breakfast.
I know,
Thank you to the maid of honour Sarah and all the bridesmaids for looking stunning, even in their wellies. And thank you all for persevering with us and the weather. And again, would you please raise your glasses?
Yes, definitely.
To Karl and Kayleigh.